And our word for today on this Wednesday of the 16th week in Ordinary Time, this Wednesday, July the 24th, our word for today is young. Young is our word for today, and here to talk about it, Deacon Dan Brahier. Good morning, Deacon Dan.
Hey there, Dan.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Ron. How are you guys today?
We are doing fabulously well. How are you?
All right. I'm doing great. Thank you very much. I'm feeling very young today, so let's do that as our word of the day.
I like it, young.
Actually used to, how about it? Used to direct a youth band at our parish. I played a couple of instruments, and they would perform or lead the music, really, once a month at Mass. And one of the songs that they particularly loved to play was a song called Never Too Young. I don't know if you've heard that one. It's a Carrie Landry song from like 2006. But the refrain of the song says, "We are never too young to witness. We are never too young to serve. We are never too young to be disciples of the Lord." And the point of the song is to remind us that young people can and do make a difference. The song says they can preach the gospel, they can help the poor, they can care for others, they can feed the hungry, all of those works of mercy. And I always find it interesting because some people refer to the youth in the church as the future of the Catholic Church. I don't think they're the future at all. I think they're the present. I like to think of them as the church of today. If they're in the pews, if they're with us, they're already active members of this Catholic Church. And so for 29 years, I taught 7th and 8th graders at St. Rose School in Perrysburg, while also teaching at the university. And people would often ask me, "What are you, nuts? Like, why would anybody continue to teach junior high if you don't have to?" Yeah. And my response to that was always the same. I don't have to teach them. I do it because I enjoy it. I get energy from them, and I learn as much from them as they learn from me. So I even think of that as today. I go back and teach occasional religion classes in my wife's 8th grade class, and I minister at a university parish working with college students all the time. That's where the energy comes from. That youth is not a detractor. It's a strength. I think of the other parish in Bowling Green. I'm at St. Thomas More. Our other parish is St. Aloysius. Aloysius was an incredible saint of the 16th century. He tirelessly served the suffering during a plague, but he died when he was only 23 years old. So in the first reading today, God appears to Jeremiah, and he says that he's appointed him as a prophet. And what does Jeremiah say? He says, "I know not how to speak. I'm too young." And God replies, "Say not, I am too young. To whomever I send you, you shall go. Have no fear, because I am with you to deliver you." So God's response today in this first reading is a double-edged answer. On one hand, he wants to let Jeremiah know that his youth is his strength. He's never too young. And at the same time, he reminds Jeremiah not to fear. He says that anything is going to be possible when God is with us. And so that theme is picked up in the psalm response. The response today is taken from Psalm 71. And the psalmist pleads to God saying, "Rescue me, deliver me, for you are my hope, O Lord, my trust, O God, from my youth." And he concludes by saying, "O God, you have taught me from my youth, and until the present I proclaim your wondrous deeds." So it's a reminder here that love of God is throughout a lifetime. It's from our youth to our older age. And so God doesn't worry about how young we are or how old we are, etc. And I just have to, when I read that reading from Jeremiah, I think about how often I have come up with similar excuses. I think we all do it. God calls us and we say, "I don't have time. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have that skill." There's always some reason that we give for why we can't answer God's call because something is missing, something's not right. And so today, God is reassuring us. He speaks to us directly when he says, "Say not, I am too young." He promises he'll always be there for us as he is for Jeremiah. And remember that Jesus famously says that the last words of Jesus quoted in Matthew's gospel at the time of the ascension is, "Know that I am with you always, even until the end of the age." So Jesus is promising us that he'll always be with us. I'm thinking of Harry Chapin had a song where there was a line from the song that said, "Your youth is no handicap. It's what makes you thirsty." And that's kind of what it is. The fact that he is young is actually playing to his benefit if he acknowledges and recognizes that God is always going to be there for him. And so I think there's a little bit of a reassurance there for you and I that when God calls us, whatever task it is, we need to trust that because he is promising us that he will always be with us.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Deacon Dan. And I have to say, I mean, those of us who've been in ministry from a young age to an older age, though I think there are advantages to the experience and all that, I have to say, what I was able to do as a younger person sometimes is a little bit better than what I could do at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we have some kind of an energy there when we're younger, and it is a different kind of energy, right? But we see that, I particularly recognize that through my years of teaching, junior high and high school, and then through college, that there are different things that are brought to the table there, and sometimes people will say things like, well, kids today don't have what they used to have, or kids today don't. And I just don't buy that. I think that kids today bring a lot to the table. And in some cases, some of the thinking, when I meet with students at the university and I'm having theological conversations with them, I'm thinking to myself, you are thinking about and dealing with things that I never thought about when I was in college. Like you're light years ahead of where I was at that time.
So true.
And I think we sometimes can sell kids short.
Beautiful.
Love it. What a great reminder.
Yeah, absolutely. Deacon Dan Brahier, you've done it again. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you for joining us for Morning Offering.
Have a great week.
Thanks.